We're not the starters. We're not even the backups. This is the Third Stringers Podcast.
Welcome back to the Third Stringers Podcast. Oh, what a day. It's NFL Draft Day. We got NBA playoffs. We have the Aaron Rodgers trade finally. Let's stop talking about the intros. Let's just go. Here we go.
First things first. First things first.
First things first, the NFL Draft. I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't know if you guys read through it, but my mock draft came out last night. Had to get those last minute changes in there just in case I needed to. But it's finally here. It's within the hour, actually. We actually might go right into it as we leave this podcast today. But let's just start talking about it. Who do we got going number one overall to the Panthers? By the way, Justin and Paige are both here today. I didn't leave anybody out, I promise.
We are here, yes.
Yes.
I'm just
hyped.
I'm hyped too. I'm excited. It's gonna be a interesting draft, especially for the Lions, the hometown team. I'm gonna take a page right out of your mock draft, Kratz, and I'm going with Bryce Young for the first overall. I think that's the right pick. That's all I can say. I mean, anyone disagree with that?
I think I'm gonna take Bryce Young too. What's interesting though is like when they were doing all these tests, like written tests for the draft, CJ Stroud like tested in like the bottom 2% with like decision making and stuff, and he's like, his quote was kind of like, "Oh, that doesn't matter. I can just throw a football."
Yeah, he doesn't want to do school. He doesn't want to do school. He wants to play football.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. If that affects where he goes, probably not, but like it's a thing to like keep in mind for sure.
Yeah. It is funny how much just like simple like anonymous sources can even change like the odds of drafting. So after that anonymous tweet or report came out that said that Will Levis and the Panthers are close, like the numbers instantly skyrocketed for Will Levis. And now that, they've kind of come back down to earth. And then now that, the Texans come out and say, they're not interested in Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, Will Levis numbers plummet. It's funny how much just simple reporting changes the odds in these things, especially for sports betting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Bryce Young going. Let's go right into the quarterbacks then. So in my mock draft, I have 4 first-round quarterbacks. All right. I could see a potential fifth late in the first round. There's been a lot of talks about Hendon Hooker going, late in the first round. I don't see it. I still see him as a second round or a second day prospect. I just think that there's a lot of needs elsewhere, and I think a lot of teams may wait until next year's draft to take their quarterback. Do you guys see it any differently? Do you guys think you think we're going to have any surprises in the first round?
I think there's a possibility of like 4 quarterbacks going and maybe even the top 5. I know on your mock draft, Noah, you had Anthony Richardson going 7th to the Raiders. I think maybe someone trades up to get him or something. I think there's a trade up going to happen somewhere in the top 10 because I saw on Twitter the Washington GM in an interview or whatnot. He was kind of like talking about the philosophy of like trading up or down. So like basically trading up is like you really love a guy enough to pass on a guy, right? That may fit, may not, but it's kind of just comes down to like who you fall in love with there. So I mean, I feel like that could be a big like thing moving forward, but I'm not sure what will happen.
Yeah, and I'm on the same boat. I think it's going to be 4. The main reason what you were saying, Kratz, other teams, there's not many teams that need a quarterback right now, and those 3 or 4 are going to get them in the top 3 or the 3 or 4 quarterbacks. So, like, I'm just going through my head of teams that are like fringe quarterback scenario. Like you could make an argument for the Rams if Stafford is injured and whatever happens with that. Like a couple teams that aren't dire need but could potentially. But I just feel like they need help elsewhere. Like you said, like I can't see there being a fifth one in the first round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? Because there's been a lot of talks about the Cardinals, trading that third overall pick, and it almost seems like they kind of want to, and they want someone to get desperate. It's going to be interesting though because the Titans have been talked about, the Commanders have been talked about, even though everyone's kind of like pushing them to do it, but they don't really seem interested. And I don't know if they're trying to tank for next year. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of aging quarterbacks as well. We have Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets, and unless they're committing with Zach Wilson long term after that, the Jets planned on this being a short term thing, and they're going to need a quarterback too. Stafford's getting older for the Rams, like you said. The Bucks have Baker right now. We'll see how far that gets them.
Real quick.
Oh, scenario. Oh, wait, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I like Baker Mayfield. I feel like he's not a bad quarterback. Continue.
I don't mind Baker Mayfield. I think like he was kind of thrown some like crazy situations. Like, I don't know. But what if Zach Wilson went to the Bucks?
Honestly, Zach Wilson, if he's going to succeed in the NFL, if he has any shot, it's going to be on another team. It will not be with the Jets. After everything that has happened this last year.
And I don't think like with Aaron Rodgers' personality and like Zach Wilson's personality, like that's just not a good like mix. Where you're going at each other like every practice. I saw something, if the Jets were to bring in like a veteran quarterback, what would Zach Wilson do? He's like, oh, I'll make that guy's life hell. And Aaron Rodgers responded to that comment today, and he's like, I'm gonna make his life heaven. Like,
deep.
So, yeah. So I just thought that was funny, but I could definitely see him getting moved, maybe before the season starts.
I can see that happening. Especially if they don't get along, and I mean they're going to do whatever Rodgers wants. So
yeah,
if Rodgers is fine with him on the team, he'll probably stay. If Rodgers is like, I can't deal with his personality, he'll be gone in a couple days.
Yeah.
Let's go on surprises. All right, I've got a couple surprises waiting in the wings that I think could possibly happen. But I want to hear some surprises that you guys may think could happen tonight.
So I'm just going to throw one out there that I don't think will happen. But again, we're talking surprises. There have been a ton of people that I've been seeing saying that the Lions need to trade up for a big player. And who that may be is questionable and up in the air. I don't think they should. I think they're sitting in a very good spot right now. 2 first-round picks, right?
Yep.
And the team was great in the second half last year. They have a majority of people returning. Jamal Williams, obviously, the key person not. And then the wide receiver, Jameson. Right? Jameson says?
Yep, Williams.
Yep. Now being suspended. Like, come on, man. We need you here. So that could play a factor into it now. And people are saying, oh, maybe they will trade up for a better player. But that would be the big surprise for me. Knowing the Lions, they might do it and they might miss. And it'll kind of shoot them in the foot. Shoot themselves in the foot. But I pray that they don't.
Just going off you, Justin, like for the Lions, they lost Jamal Williams. Everyone's kind of sad about that. But they do have, that pick at 18, I think, right? Mm-hmm. A possible running back could be available there from Texas, Bijan Robinson. I feel like that'd be a great fit. I don't know if I feel like he might go earlier. But I saw like in some mock drafts, like CBS Sports, like a Ravens would be a really good fit for him at 22. But I feel like that could be like a dream in Detroit for Dan Campbell.
Absolutely. They I don't know. They're not sold on DeAndre Swift, and I don't know if it's his mentality. Uh, Even in the Hard Knocks documentary that they did about the Lions, it just didn't seem like Swift was very interested. He seemed kind of distant, and I just don't know if his personality doesn't match up well with the rest of the team because Dan Campbell has him feeling some type of way, and I think it's that hype, and I don't know if Jack has that. Um, I could definitely see him not being on the team next year. I just don't know if they're going to take a running back just with just how much the potential they have. But if they're planning for like future seasons, that can definitely be an option for them. The biggest one that I've got is Bijan Robinson going to the Eagles with that 10th pick because they've got 2 picks as well. Everyone has them taking a lineman. I actually had them taking a lineman as well. They also need a corner, and there's been talks recently about the Eagles potentially pulling back a little bit, trading back from that 10th spot, to 14, 15, somewhere in there, and then selecting Robinson. That'd be a scary offense because the last thing that any NFC team wants to see is another weapon for Jalen Hurts.
It's true.
It would be dangerous.
Personally, I feel like they should go with a lineman, right? And they probably will. For the sole purpose of you just paid Hurts a lot of money. You still have your weapons, right? So that is a risk that they could take, especially with running backs and how injury prone they seem to be, and rightfully so. But if I'm the person calling the shots, I'm taking a lineman to protect our quarterback that we just invested so much in and not risking it on a running back who probably won't be utilized as much the first couple of years. And at this moment, you want to get Jalen Hurts as many opportunities to get to the Super Bowl as possible and to keep him safe. So that would be my thought process, but that would be a cool, surprising turn of events in there.
Yeah, and their division has Aaron Rodgers now. So I mean they could use any help they could get, as Justin was saying. I don't know if he would play right away. But I don't know if you guys remember Dorian Thompson. I used to like watch him on YouTube and stuff.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of talks like he might slip in a day 2 of the draft instead of day 3. I like him. I haven't seen like as much of him as like all his games and stuff, but I could see it. I mean, I saw Hendon Hooker might slip in the first round too. I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff that could go either way depending on what team likes what.
Yeah, for sure. What I really want to see, and I'm not even, once they get out of college, I'm rooting for everybody, right? Jackson Smith and Jigba, absolutely amazing wide receiver. Way back, even before the NFL season, everyone had Jackson Smith and Jigba coming off the board first, probably like top 5 picks, and then he had a rough season with injuries and everything. If he paired up with Justin Fields again in Chicago, that'd be a thrilling sight to see. Again, not a Bears fan. I just think that those two had a great chemistry when he was there, and that would be another scary weapon for Justin Fields and someone he could fall back on as well.
That is a good spot for him to go for sure.
Yeah. We also have to talk about my Steelers, right? I got the hat, got the shirt on. It's draft day.
Oh my god.
This one in my mock draft was more with my heart, right? Seeing Joey Porter Jr. coming back. His father played for the Steelers for so many years. I want him back in a Steelers uniform. Bring him back. Put him on the corner. If he's not available, okay, I'm begging you, Steelers, take a lineman. Take a lineman, please.
They need one. Which is so weird because I feel like maybe 3 years ago, the Steelers were in a good position. I thought like they looked decent, and then everything just crumbled in the past couple of years. So
they got old.
They got old, and then a couple injuries. Yeah, so they need to start from the ground up and get that line going.
Roethlisberger was running around on one leg.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's true.
He is so slow. I just remember like just like one game he was just like literally moving in slow motion. I was like, what happened? Like how is he still playing?
It was truly remarkable, and I thank him for everything he did for Pittsburgh. But man, it was time to go.
He overstayed a little too long.
A little too long.
He's in Cancun right now. That's gonna be Aaron Rodgers if he doesn't retire in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about the trade. All right. Finally happened. We all knew it was coming. We just didn't know what the Packers were going to get for him. And I think everyone can say that it was a pretty fair trade for everybody. I mean, Packers got a ton for what they were expected to get originally. They got, for those of you who don't know, they got the pick swap this year. So the Packers went from 15 to 13. They got a second-round pick in this year's draft and a second-round pick next year with the possibility of it turning into a first as long as Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps this year, which, come on, we all know Aaron Rodgers is going to, unless someone goes for his knees. But
It happens.
it happens.
He's getting up there in age. It's true.
But, I mean, Packers won here, but the Jets also won. As long as he meshes well with everybody on the team, Aaron Rodgers is all in. He's already at voluntary workouts, working out with a lot of the wide receivers right now. This is exactly what the Jets needed. They needed a committed Rodgers.
That's exactly what I was thinking. When he was coming out of that darkness retreat, and there's rumors that he was going to New York. I'm like, if he goes there, he has to think, I win or I retire. Because that's really what it comes down to for the Jets. They need to win a Super Bowl for this to be a successful trade. Because if not, then the Packers just got a lot of value for him. And, he is in his sunset part of his career. And personally, I don't know if he can win another ring, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I do think he will play the 65% of snaps. It would be crazy if a team did target him. Let's say the Packers. I don't know if the Packers play him this year. I didn't look at schedules. To target him and go for the knees, and everyone blatantly sees what's happening. That would be interesting. But no, I think it was a great trade for both teams. The Jets are a franchise that have not seen a lot of success recently, and with the Knicks going into the second round of playoffs, and now the Jets getting Aaron Rodgers, I feel like it's a good time to be a New York sports fan.
And then you got the Knicks going to the second round for the first time in like 12 years. But I don't think the Jets will win a Super Bowl this season. I feel like next year, so 2025. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 2025, I think they'll win. But I think they'll be a playoff team, but like he still has to go through Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know. But I mean, the whole deal, like, I think he'll play 65% of the snaps. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm just glad it's over with. We don't have to talk about it anymore. He's I don't have to think about him anymore. Like, it's done. We can just move on.
The biggest thing for the Jets now is their wide receiver core. That's got to be it. Yep. That's got to be what they're looking at for this draft.
Yeah,
Are you guys worried about, like, how they draft, though? I mean, Zach Wilson went second overall only 2 years ago, and he's already on his way out, which is kind of concerning.
So a little bit here and there, right? It always seemed like the Jets always just missed on the quarterback, and they drafted so many in the last 10 years in the first round that it just seems like they miss a lot. But even last year they got Breece Hall, they got. Oh man, I'm blanking on him.
I'll look it up.
While we're looking that up, I want to disagree. I think Zach Wilson was drafted into a failing situation. I feel like he didn't get a fair shot as a quarterback in the NFL. And we were talking about it earlier as well. He yes, he said he's going to give whoever the veteran coming in hell, and rightfully so. I think that's the best mentality he could have. But I think it would be even better for him if he stayed, learn from Rodgers, whether or not Rodgers wanted him to learn from him, train, take a break, do whatever you got to do, and then either transition into their starting quarterback when Rodgers eventually does retire, or trade and go somewhere else and try to be their starting quarterback. I feel like he was just set up for failure. So I don't believe they draft bad. I think they're just a bad organization. And
That's fair.
He got very unlucky in Zach Wilson's case.
Yeah, I mean, I hope like he stays because I don't think we see like enough of like I feel like even like a couple years ago, like these prospects that would get drafted early on and then they, would be like the second quarterback or, third quarterback. They would rather like go to a team and be a starter than like learn from a veteran quarterback. Because I think now with like even like people our age, like if it's not happening now, it's never gonna happen. Like none of us had patience. Like I know I don't. But like you know what I mean? Like I hope he does that, like just for the sake of his career, because I mean he's only been in the league 2 years.
Yeah.
And like people think he's, supposed to be like Patrick Mahomes or, something like that already. But it just takes time and I don't know, I guess we'll see. But this season will be like I feel like all the views and everything for like the TV deals for the Jets is gonna go like through the roof.
Absolutely through the roof. And I mean, you definitely have a good point that everyone wants to be a starter right away. It happens in the NBA, happens in college. It's why the transfer portal is so hot right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at Trevor Lawrence. He was put in a bad situation with Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer was gone in I think 5 games. And after that, everyone kind of put all the pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Everyone's like, is he really the generational quarterback that everybody thinks he is? And then he proved everybody wrong late last season, making that run. And it just takes time in the NFL. It doesn't happen overnight. I shouldn't say that. It very seldom happens overnight. You have some guys that come out of the gate, throwing haymakers and just absolutely blowing it up in the league, but it very rarely happens.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think it like depends on like go ahead, Justin.
Oh, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say like it depends kind of too like the market of your team. If you're a low market team, you're a star, but like you're not really getting anything from it, right? But like in a city like New York, it's gonna be so different for Aaron Rodgers, and like don't get me wrong, there's like a ton of eyes on the Packers, right, with him. But like New York sports is like a whole different ball game than Wisconsin.
That is true.
So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. But I just think it's like interesting that like one player can like definitely like change the whole trajectory of a team, like not accounting like for like how big your market is, like in the NFL, NBA, NHL, like whatever the case may be.
I hope for the Jets fan base's sake that they don't immediately write him off if he doesn't play well right away.
Mm-hmm.
He's played with the Packers organization for his entire career. It takes time. Don't turn on him right away because it won't end well if you guys do.
True.
Yeah,
that is true. He is on a short leash, and he has that attitude. But I think he'll adapt more than I think a lot of people are going to give him credit for. Like you said, that's not Wisconsin anymore. But I think he's fully like cognizant. Like at the end of the day, he's a smart dude, and he's cognizant of the transition he's making and how many eyes are on this. So I think he'll do well. Maybe a rocky start, but the Jets seem to be doing okay last year to the point where having him in there will really boost them, and it'll be interesting to see what the playoff picture looks like towards the end of the season.
For sure. All right, let's move on to the NBA playoffs. I have an apology coming in later, but let's talk about the teams that are still playing in the first round. All right, we got the Celtics and Hawks tonight. Who saw this coming? I thought it was going to be a sweep. You okay? Fair enough.
I said
You
sweet.
did. You did.
Justin did.
Game
Round of
7.
applause.
Let's go.
It could happen.
They could.
They're back in Atlanta. We still got the Warriors and the Kings still playing, and the Lakers and the Grizzlies. Did anyone see these teams as the teams that are still fighting in the first round?
I got Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6.
We're riding.
Lakers will probably win the series, which is interesting because I did not expect that to happen.
I think it's so odd that I haven't heard one thing about Ja Morant this whole series.
He's
Like,
been
not
doing
how
well,
it's been. No, exactly. But like the media coverage, like, is non-existent. Like, since everything that's happened. But it's just so odd, like how the media can just switch up and everything. Like now it's all on Dylan Brooks and like how if LeBron doesn't give him 40, he's not going to respect him. Well, LeBron gave you 20 plus points and 20 rebounds. That equals 40, buddy. But yeah, I mean, I think the Lakers will probably win tomorrow night to put it away. I don't know. I mean, it could go 7. I don't think LeBron will let that happen. I mean, they weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs.
It's true.
So,
True.
but I mean, I wouldn't bet against him. I mean, I think the West, like whoever comes out of the West, I think will win the whole thing. You got the Bucks are out. We'll leave that game for last.
No, I agree. I think the West, just the few games I've been watching, the West looks better. It looks like the competition's better out there. And everyone's thought that for the past 15 years or whatever. So, no,
Yeah.
not surprising. Going to the Kings Warriors, though, really happy this has been a great series. We all hoped it would, and it's turning out to be that way. I think it's going to go to Game 7, and I think the Warriors are going to win it just based off pure experience at this point. Just they know what to do. They can close it out. The pressure won't get to them. But I hope it's a very good game. I hope De'Aaron Fox goes off. I hope Steph hits a game-winning 3 or something crazy. And if it doesn't happen and the Kings win, I'll still be happy.
Everybody kind of talked about the Kings. They blew it after the 2-0 lead going into last night. Really needed to win, or 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago? Tuesday?
No, last night.
Was it last night?
Yeah.
They played
My
the
days were
Bucks
all
Heat
screwed
at
up.
the same time as the Kings and Warriors.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, series is over. It's not over. Okay. The Kings will pull it off tomorrow night, guaranteed, going to Game 7.
Oh, okay.
De'Aaron Fox hit his first 3 threes with a broken finger. He kind of slowed down after that. But
yeah.
he shut it down. He shut it down. All the talk about how he's not going to do anything with a broken finger.
I think this has been like the best first round series in like quite some time. I mean,
It's been thrilling.
so fun, and like I'm glad like people are finally realizing how good the Kings are, because like this, I was gonna swear, but the stuff that people were saying like before the season, I had them as a top 4 team in the West the whole time.
Yeah.
But I don't think Draymond is gonna score 20 points again.
No.
And like you can't really
Don't
game
doubt
plan
Draymond.
that, right?
Don't doubt
That's a
Draymond.
fluke. That's a fluke.
He will step on your face and he'll put 40 in.
You're right. Then he'll get suspended for the next game.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah. So
real quick,
another one Game 7 anyway.
on that topic, I don't think he should have been suspended. Or if he should have been, it should have been, I don't know. There should have been some other things that happened as well. That was an interesting event.
Yeah.
If they were going to suspend Draymond, they should have suspended Sabonis as well.
Yeah.
earlier
It's
performance.
just and again, I don't even think it was him stepping on him. I think it was more about him talking to the crowd and getting into it with the crowd, because I mean, to be honest with you, he was about 5 feet away from the fans there, and it looked like they were ready to get into a fight.
Yeah. You can't.
And to be fair, when I like saw Draymond step on Sabonis, I feel like Sabonis kind of sold it a little bit. like-
Sabonis was
Oh,
acting
yeah.
the
I was like-
whole- every game.
I
so
was
far.
like, that's cringy. Like obviously he stepped on him, but he didn't like put his whole like weight on
No.
him, you know. But like props to Sabonis for selling it. But I don't know. I feel, and then I was not expecting them to win last night on the road. I mean, they've been terrible on the road all year, and like that's the game the Kings will probably look back if they lose this series, and just like it's gonna be their nightmares,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Because I mean, it's gonna be so hard for them to win tomorrow night.
Mhm.
But I
It
still
will
have
be.
them in 7. But
The Chase Center will be rocking.
oh god.
Suns Clippers.
Yes.
Thoughts on that?
If Kawhi ever plays,
Yeah.
this
He
will
had
be
a
a
torn
different series.
meniscus.
Yeah.
He has a torn meniscus every year.
My thing is he definitely. I believe him when he says he can't play at this stage. Maybe in the regular season, whatever. But when it's a win or go home scenario and he can't play, I believe it. But my thing is, yeah, he's getting injured so frequently throughout his career that teams either need to stop looking at him as a number 1, number 2 option and just have him as a good starter / role player, which is crazy to even say, but like he can't play half the time, so that's how you got to treat it. Or he has to retire. Like you got to be done if you're getting hurt this much. So it was tough to see that he didn't play, and I know people have been talking that the Clippers blow it up next season and start trading and all this stuff. I still think you stick it out. If they're healthy, they're going to the Western Conference Finals, in my opinion. They're just as good as any other team. So that's tough for me to see. But Kawhi needs to do something, or the whole league needs to look at him as a completely different player, which I don't think will happen.
Yeah. And like I'm with you. Like I believe like when Kawhi says like, "Hey, like I'm hurt, I can't play." Like I believe him. But like it's kind of odd that you score 30 or more points in the playoffs against arguably the best team in the NBA, arguably, and then you're hurt. You know, it's just no, seriously, like what?
It is weird.
I
but
didn't see it.
Why else would he?
But
Yeah.
well, I mean, Paul George isn't playing.
Yeah, but
I mean, maybe that's I'm not saying like he did. Like I'm not saying this. It's just odd.
It is
You know,
weird.
if I was a Clippers fan, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You don't have 2 of your stars playing, but shout out to Russell Westbrook. He had a hell of a series.
He did.
I think he averaged like 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, when the Suns lost, like, I mean, he was just all over KD. Like following, I hated how he always like blocked from behind, because he would just chase KD to all his spots. But I'm glad he had a good series. He really needed that, I think, and like I think a lot of people's like perception of him really changed after that. So.
For sure. I think it's going to be more of a shorter contract years though. Like I think they're going to be more worried about him not meshing with any team now. I think it's going to be more of a where is he best fit and how long are we going to hold on to him? It's because he is starting to get a little older and you can see him start to deteriorate a little bit, but he turns it on in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
honestly, does he come back to the Clippers next year?
If I was him, I would.
Yeah, as long
I don't know
as
what
they
other
keep
team would
one-
want him.
Yeah, as long as they keep one
Yeah.
of Kawhi or Paul George, I feel like you stay. If they're getting rid of everyone and now he's the number 1 option, yeah, you can let me go too. Trade me somewhere else because I don't want that spotlight and that pressure.
We're a package deal.
Exactly.
How about that? How about the Knicks and the Cavs?
I was not
We saw that
expecting that.
No, I wasn't either.
I wasn't either, but
They
I'm
just
happy
weren't
for them.
ready.
Yeah.
Cavs just weren't ready for it. They have a bright future. It's just I don't think they were ready for the big spotlight of the playoffs, and I think they'll come back next year. More ready, I guess,
Yeah.
and I think they'll be more suited for the playoffs next year.
I agree. The chemistry will be better. They'll know how they operate under the pressure. Yeah, I agree. Excited for the Knicks though. They needed to win a series. This was a good series to win. We'll see what happens next round for them. I can't imagine they go much further, but hey, who knows? Maybe they will.
I mean, they play the biggest surprise of the NBA playoffs
Let's go
so far.
into it.
All right, I got to issue my apology. It's time. Heat, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for calling you old and washed.
Wait.
I was so wrong. Jimmy Butler, you're a perfect fit for the Heat. Even though Tyler Hero got hurt, you played an amazing series and arguably one of the best in the Heat history. It's you and LeBron right now, and let's see what else. Let's see what else you can do.
Devin Booker. But shout out before we get in the Heat Bucks. I gotta shout out my guy Victor Oladipo. That just sucks, man. I mean, I loved him coming out of Indiana, like with the Hoosiers and the Pacers. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And like same with Kawhi, like he's always just hurt, and like I think this honestly might be it for him.
Yeah.
He has a torn patella. Like I don't know what the recovery time on that, but I don't think it's good. And you can just tell right away, like when he was down, like he just knew, like he was done for. But I don't like the Heat and like the Knicks. I feel like that series. I don't know. I feel like the Heat are gonna be really tested.
We said that with the Bucks.
I know, but
It's gonna be
Josh Hart will probably guard Jimmy Butler, and Josh Hart held like Donovan Mitchell to like 30% field goal percentage. That's insane.
That is pretty crazy.
It's gonna be an '80s basketball game or basketball series.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. Yeah. Will any game go into the hundreds? I truly don't know.
It depends on how many buckets Jimmy wants to score that night.
How many buckets Jimmy buckets get?
No, I mean, Giannis not playing is really what did it for them, and obviously Butler turning it up to 11, which we know he can do, and that wasn't unexpected. But Giannis leaving really left the Bucks wide open to lose that series, and I'm happy the Heat capitalized on that and took advantage, and now they're on the next round. Jimmy just needs to keep performing at that level and hope that someone else can help, just help a little bit, and they have a shot. So I'm excited to see what they do. And I think I saw somewhere this was the 6th time in NBA history, I think it was the 6th, that an 8 seed beat a number 1 seed. So of course,
that's a lot of times.
Of course, coming off of March Madness and now into the playoffs, we got so many upsets. Basketball's at a good spot right now. I'm excited.
I really feel like if the Heat continue to play the defense that they need to, right? Jimmy Butler keeps playing at the level that he's playing at. They just need one guy on each given night to help out. Like we had Kyle Lowry first game.
Gabe Vincent.
We had Gabe Vincent. We had Max Strus one game. We had Bam last night. They just need one guy to help Jimmy Butler each night. Because if they're all off, they're not winning it. But if they just have one guy that's that's hot that night, they're gonna be fine.
And like what's crazy is that half of the Heat's roster that's active was undrafted. You got Max Strus, you got Gabe Vincent, you got Duncan Robinson. And Duncan Robinson, I think he's shooting like the best percentage from downtown in the playoffs, which is crazy because he had an awful year. Was barely even getting minutes. Now he's getting minutes of playoffs, and he's not the best at defense either, which was, But I mean, you got K Love. He played pretty good. I mean, his foul at the end was like could have cost him the game. But Eric Spoelstra, I mean, he's just an awesome coach. Like he outcoached. I can't even say his last name. I'm so bad at it.
Budenholzer.
Yeah. But I mean, he had Giannis taking mid-range jumpers with 1 minute left in the game when it's tied. What are we doing? Giannis needs to be driving clear out the sides, and then you got Grayson Allen taking the last shot. He doesn't even get it off. He should have done a floater. God. I mean, what are we doing? And then like the thing that like made me mad the most was like at the tip at the beginning of almost the end of regulation when the Bucks got the ball. Giannis like tipped it away from him because he didn't want to get fouled to shoot a free throw. If you have your best player doing that, and arguably maybe the best player in the whole NBA, that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, they need to work on free throws.
Yeah.
Like that is what they need to work on. Have Giannis sit on the line and just work on
5
something.
hours a day.
Yeah. if it's that 20-second, build up to where he needs to shoot a free throw, fine. But yeah, he needs to do better at free throws because they will continue to follow him
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah, next year. not anymore. And another thing I've noticed, or I believe might be true for the Bucks, is Giannis is obviously the team leader. But I don't know how well he communicates with the other teammates. It seems like he's always waiting for orders from the coach or just to see how the game develops. But he needs to be directing almost to the level that LeBron does for him to really step up to the next level. Like, again, he's one of the best players in the league right now just based off of his athleticism and ability to get down in the paint and basically bully anyone. But he's not going to be able to do that for long. He's probably got another 3, 4, 5 years of doing that consistently. And after that, he's got to pivot to something else. And we've seen his shooting hasn't really improved that much over the past however many years he's been in the league. He's still good on defense, but he's not going to be like the defensive anchor for any team. So I feel like he has to turn into a playmaker more and communicate better with his teammates. So that'll be interesting to see how he develops over the next couple of years and if he can turn more into like a vet player, I guess.
Like if he could develop kind of like how Bam developed, I mean, he would be unstoppable. I mean, he already basically is, right? But like Bam, he added that like mid-range jumper kind of at the free throw line, and I mean, he hits it pretty well most of the time. Like, and he's an awesome passer. If Giannis is able to do that, I mean, you're looking at like a whole new like Bucks atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I mean, his shot still, like, I'm like a big person on form. His form is so bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
So bad. Like, it's not fluid at all. And like, I know he's trying, right? I mean, he's been taking a lot more jumpers this year, but like, it's just so like, it looks like he's just focusing so much on it. And that hopefully this summer he works on it. It's more natural for him. But I think that's going to be a big thing for them next year.
All right, real quick, let's get the rundown on who we think is going to make it to the second round. I think we did talk about each one, but let's just do a quick rundown. Boston, Hawks, who we got?
Hawks.
Celtics in 7. I think Hawks win tonight.
Okay. And then you Boston in 7, you said?
Yep.
All right, I got Boston tonight. Kings, Warriors.
I'm going to say Warriors in 7, but honestly, it wouldn't shock me either way. That's the most up in the air for me.
Kings in 7.
I got Warriors in 7.
What? The biggest Kings fan here. God,
Yeah.
they're this close. They're this close.
I know, but they're not going to do it. They're young. They're
They don't have the
young.
experience.
No.
The Warriors are just
Look at the Heat. Look at
literally-
the Heat.
You're right. But they're not young.
Kind of.
Look at the Cavs.
Yeah.
See? Anything can happen. They're this close.
Lakers, Grizzlies.
Lakers.
I got Lakers in 7.
I got Lakers tomorrow, 7-6.
I'm going to say Lakers in 6 as well.
All right.
Who do
That
they
was the last three.
play in the second round?
It's going to be the winner of the Kings Warriors game.
Oh,
Oh.
that'll be an interesting matchup.
That will be a good matchup as well.
I'm rooting for the Kings, I promise. It's just that I don't think they're going to pull it off.
No,
All
the
right.
NBA already wrote the script. They want Steph Curry and LeBron to play in the second round.
I can see it.
As they
Yeah.
should.
I know.
I'm not. As they should. All right. I got to go watch Roger Goodell get booed on stage right now.
All right.
All right. We'll do draft grades next week. We'll talk more about the NBA playoffs and maybe even some NBA draft conversations.
Oh, early. I love it.
It's not too far
Whoa.
away.
It's true.
True.
All right, guys. See you next week.
See ya.